Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is Monday, October the 10th, and I have a fabulous special guest with me tonight, Kelley from Kelley Cruises and Crafts. Hello, sweetheart, and welcome.
Hi, gang.
Thank you for joining me. So what I'm going to do is slip over into the chat real quick and welcome everybody. Let me see here. Delia, hello, sweetheart. And she says, hello, Donna, Joe, and Kelley. Looking forward to the interview. Teresa Moore, hello, Donna, and fellow quilters. The Carrie Richards, hello, and Dahlia's telling everybody hello. So I'm going to drop Kelley's link real quick. And if you have not already subscribed to her channel or checked her out, you'll have the link to do so. And feel free after the chat tonight to slip over and check her out and see what you think if you're not already subscribed. It'd mean everything to both of us. And we're going to get this party rolling. So, Kelley, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, like husband, dogs, cats?
Well, hubby and I have been married for a long time. We have two grown-up kids, and we have two dogs, Bernese Mountain Dogs. The old guy is 10. Ooh. The young one's 2, and you can see by my name, Kelley Mueller, you know why the young one's named Ferris.
Oh, that's
and yes, he
cool.
suits his name.
That is so cool. Let me see. Amy,
he's a little bugger.
Hello from Austin, Texas. Hello, Amy, and welcome. So it sounds like, given the name of your channel, somebody likes to cruise a bit.
Yep.
So somewhere tonight, we'll circle back in and find out a little bit about that. So we're going to go ahead and segue straight into quilting. How did you ever get started into quilting? Was it like a family member, mom, grandma, somebody in your family ever quilt? Or nope. So you're a one-timer there.
Yeah, both my grandmothers knitted. And they tried to teach me, and anything to do with wool, I'm like, I just can't. I have a mental block, and it's horrible. So no, there's no crochet, no knitting, no nada. But I did cross stitch for a long time. And not that I'm getting arthritis, but you know, as we get older, things get more painful. And I just couldn't really do, but and the eyes are going a little bit too, right? So it was harder to see, to do smaller things, which is why I decided not to do so many things by hand. And one of the local quilt shops had a sale on sewing machine. So that's how I got my Elna 520. And it's been really good. I really like it. So I think it was about 2015 or so. And I started off doing YouTube, not really doing anything with it, but we had a channel. I don't know why my husband put a channel in 2012. We never did anything with it. But anyway, I took it over and I put my name on it. And then I was going around looking like quilting tips. And that's how I came up with Missouri Star and Jordan Fabrics and Mom and Pop and a bunch of other people. So I was watching this and like kind of learning. And then I went to the same place I got my machine from to do like a beginner class.
Oh,
and that's kind of how I got going with that.
That is neat. Now, what's that quilt pattern behind you? That's gorgeous. Is that one you wrote or?
It's a medallion star. The original pattern, I think, is called, it's either Summer Skies or Sunny Skies. Megan from Tiny Orchard Quilts did it last summer, 2021. It's a free pattern. And hers is, she used all solids. Hers is navy with like yellows and oranges and aquas.
Ooh.
And I'm making that for my friend's son. And those are the colors of the high school colors.
Oh, how cool is that?
So I have one video up already, and I called it Start a Secondary Star Quilt or something, because that's what it is. And for one of the greens, because my daughter went to my daughter and my son went to the same school, and the green solid matches her school hoodie.
That is.
So I had to make sure it was the right green.
Yeah, when we're done, you're gonna have to shoot me that link or something. That way I'll have it. That is gorgeous.
I'm in the middle of filming the rest of it, but I had a snag because we went away, and then I didn't have enough Kona Black, and it'll get done eventually.
Absolutely. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
So I've got two moderators now that have joined Pieces Loving Quilting. Hello, Courtney. And
hi, Courtney.
Beth of Goody Goods.
Oh, hi, Beth.
Welcome, ladies, and thank you. So let me see. Do you have anyone in particular that you make your quilts for, or when you find a pattern, you just make it and then bless someone, or do you keep all your quilts?
Usually I have either an idea or recipient in mind. Like the very first one that before I even took a class was I did a t-shirt one for my daughter because she had all her soccer uniforms and, you know, you go to a tournament and you buy the hoodie and all that jazz, right?
Absolutely.
So I cut all this stuff up and made her a soccer quilt.
Oh,
that was the first one. And then my son goes, well, Mom, can I have a hockey quilt? Well, he wasn't allowed to keep his jerseys. They belonged to the league. So I found fabric and just cut big squares out. And I said, here, make the design. He's got an arty mind. So I just left it to him and he spread it all out, took a picture, sewed it all up.
that's awesome. I love t-shirt quilts. I just think they're so stinking fun. There's so much you can do with them. Do you have a preference for like your fabric designers that you kind of segue into? I'm
Not
kind of a Kona girl.
particularly, no. I like to use Moda Grunge. Actually, one of the grays in that is gray grunge.
Is it?
I did the orange and yellow and blue quilt for my friend's son. That's all grunge. And usually I like to do Christmas stuff with the Robert Kaufman.
Oh,
it's called Holiday Flourishes, I think.
Yeah.
You know, with
It's
the metallic
gorgeous.
accents. Yeah,
Yep.
every year, no matter what comes out, it's going to match with previous. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I tend to stick with that
Absolutely.
because then I know something's going to go. Like
Oh,
for runners or whatever, you know.
oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Do you name your quilts and do you label them before you bless someone? And do you like log them? That way you'll know what quilts you've ever done.
I always label them. I don't always name them. Other than this one, because it can't very well be called Summer Skies with colors like that.
Right.
No, yeah, usually I had to put a label on it. I suck at labels on runners and stuff, but I'm pretty good at putting it on a quilt. It's always in the brain. I'm always thinking of it.
Oh, that
and
makes
lately,
sense.
all what I've been doing are all these grad quilts because we know all these kids that have started to graduate. And I sort of fell into it because I did one for my friend's son, but it was after he graduated. And I'm like, oh, well, here you go, Samuel. I'll give this to you for grad. And then my great niece, she likes Harry Potter and she found this panel and she said, Auntie, can you make me this? And that was for her grad. And then I did one for my own nephew. And then it sort of kind of snowballed. So I'm making grad quilts as people graduate. Now this kid graduated in June and he might get that quilt by Christmas. Maybe.
It's just beautiful.
But he also lives somewhere else in BC. So I'm not even going to see him because his mom and dad moved away and he's off at college somewhere else. And yeah, so it's going to be hard to get it to him.
I'm just mesmerized. It's got so much depth. It really is a good eye catcher.
Too close at the middle of
Divide.
My seams are not.
Honey, if you're not riding past it on a galloping horse, you can pick out your mistake. Don't worry about it.
That's all paper piecing.
Do you have Beth, she's just asked, do you have a favorite place that you like to travel?
Not really, no. It's just sort of circumstance and what we've been able to pull off with the pandemic and everything. The cruise we just went on end of September was one we were supposed to do in September of 2020.
Oh, okay.
And it just got postponed. And it wasn't even exactly the same cruise, but it was close enough. It was from Vancouver down the coast to Los Angeles, and then we just flew home.
Oh, wow, that's different.
Relatively convenient.
Oh, absolute. Now, what kind of different things did you see on the cruise line this time versus the normal pre-pandemic?
Well, for one thing, the boat was it was maybe just over half full.
Really?
Those coastals are not super duper popular. They're like repositioning. So it's a timing thing for people. Some people can't cruise in September. They can only go in the summer or Christmas holidays, whatever, right? So
Right.
they tend to be not as full anyway. But I think, I mean, everything's slowly going like more and more and more and more. And I'm starting to book people for next year.
Oh, okay. Like, do you do the bookings?
Yes,
as
I'm a
well?
travel agent.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. If anybody needs to travel.
That's my fun job.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to keep that in mind because I'm always
Oh, sorry,
looking
there was
for,
my eye. Oh,
I'm always looking for someone.
well, thanks, Donna.
Absolute. Do you make up your own designs ever, or how do you do yours? Do you
Sort of.
pattern, or do you just go with it?
They blue, orange, and yellow quilt that I did for my friend's son. I've known him since he was a baby. He calls me auntie. And he just said he wanted the colors that he wanted. And
Oh,
I just sort of got out my graph paper and my pencil crayons, and I just kind of played around till I had it look pretty good. So yes, I did that one. That one was free. Some patterns I've bought. I've done a few of Donna Jordan's free patterns. I'm doing another one, hers coming up.
oh, okay.
It
I
sort of
love Donna
depends.
Jordan's.
Yeah, and usually what I do if I ask somebody, hey, like, do you want a grad quilt? Like, they tell me what they like, or they like certain colors, or whatever, or style.
Absolute.
And that's how I pick. And my friend's son wanted his colors, and he said, can you do like a star or something?
I'm not seeing it work.
Okay, there, star, kind of.
Huh? Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Take this paper over there, honey. His links aren't working tonight, so he's going
no
to
worries.
work them. So I was trying to drop a few links on my side, but not working. I don't know what's going on with the system. So
technology,
it's always at its best when you need it.
Yeah.
Do you have a certain quilt that you're actively working on now, or is that the only one right now?
Yeah, that's the one I really want to get done, but I only just got more black, and I'm sort of trying to get as much done as I can before I have knee surgery on the 21st, because after that, I don't know. I mean, I can sew left-footed, but it's really hard to stand stably to cut when you're on crutches.
Absolute.
So I hope to get more cutting done, then I can maybe sew, but we'll have to see how the week goes. And
so what is it, like a knee replacement you're having done, or?
No, I have a torn meniscus.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just getting it like cleaned up and tidied up.
Oh, that's not
So
bad
it
then.
shouldn't be anything too horrendous, but still I got to go in the hospital, and I got to, be bandaged. And
Oh,
absolutely. So, yeah.
Shelley Clark, I would like to cruise again, but my brother came home from his last one in September with COVID and still scared to go. What is your favorite way to quilt your projects? Free motion quilt, straight line quilting, or stitch in the ditch?
I only quilt smaller stuff myself, like runners and whatnot. And most of the time I just do stitch in the ditch. Or something simple here. I'll show you guys an example because it's handy beside me. I don't know if you can see this too great because we're relying on my laptop camera.
Yeah, you can see that.
So all I did was the line around the cross stitch design, and then I did stitch in the ditch here on the seam. And this is marked out, and I'm gonna quilt this with an orangey color.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably it. I just want to sort of anchor it. It's not, I don't really want this wall hanging to be like super quilted. It's just to hold it together.
Now, is that blue painter's tape?
Yep.
I do that all the time, and I thought it was just me. I mark up my area that I want to work in. That way I don't segue off of it.
Yeah, it's just easier.
Absolute.
But for and actually that one, I decided I was going to big stitch it myself. I did one for my aunt a few years back, and it was one of those jelly roll things, and I applicated teacups on it, and then I just went around in concentric circles. And I happened to have a green of, I think it's 12 weight sulky.
Oh, okay.
I'll make sure I film that when I do it. And I thought, oh, well, that green actually looks pretty good. And I also had black. I'm like, well, I'll just order myself a few grays, pick the one I like best. Mm-hmm. So although I don't do a lot of hand stuff, I'm back to doing hand stuff coming up just because of circumstances. Otherwise, My long armor lives across the street.
Oh, you can't beat that.
So I just pull up Beatrice and go, hey. Easy.
Joe, do you want to drop Courtney's link too? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm looking down through people sending me questions on my phone as well. Hi, Donna, Kelley, Joanne. Hi, Beth. Dahlia's telling everybody hello. What has been the most challenging part of budgeting when you're quilting for you? Do you ever budget, or do you just know what you're willing to spend?
I just kind of know what I'm willing to spend. I try to use a lot of what I already have. And for example, I use Kona Black all the time. So it's not an issue to buy more because I use it constantly. So like that, the stuff like that. As I do these grad quilts and get them out of the way, though, I want to do a few more scrappy things and finish up some of my stash that's around. But for now, it's sort of like use what I have, but I don't quite have this, so I'll have to augment, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, did the COVID play anything with your, like, entice you more into quilting when we were all in the lockdown phase?
Well, yeah, what else was I going to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I think it's pretty much for a lot of us. We were locked down. What are you going to do? I'd started out with mask making and then turned that into, when I burned out on it, started quilting.
And then too, I was like, well, I'm just going to look around at YouTube, and I found a few people that make cards and stuff. And I'm not really into that. My sister does amazing stuff, but I've done a few, so I will just watch them. And then there's a whole bunch of people, loads of Canadians for one thing. And I follow them all, and we all follow each other, and we all, like, same as the quilting community, we're all tight. Like everyone knows everybody else and follows everybody else, and
absolutely
swaps and this going back and forth. I can't always do that because I don't have time, but I usually follow everybody and watch them. So that was sort of a snowball thing from COVID. Like I can't just quilt all the time.
Right. I like to listen to other ones play, like in the background while I'm working. And that helps me, you know. And then I'm like, oh, see a squirrel. I see their pattern, and then I'll jot it down. But I've learned I can't make everything that I see that I like. I was printing everything, and then I went through and did a big clean out and saw how much waste.
I have a lot of files saved on this laptop.
Yeah, that's the way I should have did it, but I didn't. I found the pattern, printed it, and I labeled it, this is a gotta make, or circle back to it, or whatever. We learn. What do you do with all of your finished quilts?
I have the 2 that I made in class. Those are, well, the very first one I made went down on the downstairs couch and got appropriated by the older dog. So it's not really mine anymore. The second one I made in class, it was a sampler class. So we learned how to do a bunch of different things. So that one I kept, and I just use it sometimes on the couch upstairs. And I did a jelly roll race for, in 2017, Canada was 150 years old. So I used a jelly roll for that, and I put maple leaves on it and applique. And I use that one too. Sometimes it goes camping, but everything else so far has been given away.
I've got a couple that I've kept, but I'm like you. Like, do you buy patterns, and what's the hardest one you found that you need to resist? And do you lean more towards modern or traditional quilts?
I don't know, because this seems kind of modern to me.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the ones I did for my friend's daughter for a grad quilt, it was a friendship star, and it was sort of in like vintagey fabric because she's into that and wanted these certain colors. So that's what I did. So it kind of varies. I don't really have my own style, I don't think.
I think we find it a little bit at a time. I don't mean to sound rude. Oh, my energy level's going down since I was sick last week. And I'm sorry if I sounded rude. I
try not to do anything that is tremendously complicated. And this looks like it is, but it isn't really. Because the pattern is just like broken down properly, and I just needed to make sense of my brain.
Right. Nancy Geis is saying, Kelley, that looks beautiful behind you. It is just a gorgeous. I love that.
It is probably a bit more complicated than I have done before, but again, not that bad. However, one of those peaks of the star in the middle, I had to sew it together like 4 times because I had a paper piecing mental block about it. And I don't know.
Now, is that all FPP?
Not the whole quilt, not entirely.
Just the center?
Yeah, the center is, and I don't know if you guys can see because it's behind my head. You see those big silvery triangles?
Yes.
Those are paper piecing, but the flying geese above it are not.
It's just, I just love it. I don't know whether it's the colors or the pattern itself.
So it's supposed to, like up, I don't know if you can see it, up the top, that's the top, the border is sewn, the bottom border is sewn. And all I have to do is sew the sides and put the other black squares on like cornerstones.
Right. I think it's really pretty, Kelley. You did a fabulous job, babe.
Thank you. It's been fun so far.
Can you walk me through how you cut your fabric and things like that?
Oh, okay. Well, you guys can't see it because I'm currently have the laptop on my cutting table, but it's just a big old table that we had from, I don't know, forever. And I don't know where my husband found them. Amazon probably. There's like these razor things.
Yeah, the risers.
Each foot's on one of these block doodads, or I don't know what, 8 inches or something, or whatever. Just so I don't have to lean over to cut, like I, kill the old back, right?
Absolute. And that makes it so much easier. Absolutely. Let me see. Do you like advertise when you're on your lives? Do you like talk about, like, say, a specialty ruler, specialty cutter, whatever?
Not really. Mainly because I only go live just from the laptop. I was trying to get my little camera I used to film, but it's not really a webcam unless I use the app on my phone, and my phone sucks. My good phone fell in the toilet and died. So this is an interim phone.
Right.
So unless I get a better phone that I can use the app on the phone as webcam, or I just get a webcam, I'm kind of limited how my lives go because this is it.
Right. Absolute. And I get it. How do you choose your colors? And do you have a specific color wave that you like?
I like to use red, but I haven't done much other than Christmas, but I happen to like red. I like purple. I don't really like orange, and yet I'm going to use it again for another grad quilt.
Right.
But that's what people want. They wanted this is the color. So, okay. Already goes with their room or their school or like whatever. It's their favorite color. Fine.
Right. Now, do you have a favorite like thread that you like to quilt with?
Well, for quilting and piecing, I like to use Orfil. My machine agrees with it. There's no issues, so I stick with it. And I tend to piece with 50 weight. And if I quilt something myself, I quilt with 40 weight. Absolute.
I'm with you. Off kilter quilter Ian. Oh no, not into the toilet. That's so sad.
That was when I was on crutches in February after I wrecked my knee.
Oh, I can imagine. Do you get asked to hem people's clothes since you're a quilter?
Yes.
I think we all do. If we can do a straight line, they're going to ask us to do it.
My father-in-law asked me, and I'm like, no, Dad, I don't do hems.
Yeah.
My response was, do you get Picasso to paint your garage?
I didn't think of that. Yeah, I've hemmed more pants this last year.
Absolutely not. I'm not a tailor.
Yeah, I'm like, if you can tell me how much to cut off, I can sew a straight line. But you're going to pay the price, I'm telling you, and I can't guarantee. I'm telling you, it's crazy, isn't it? What got you interested in becoming a YouTuber, content creator?
Part of it was when I started working. For years and years, my husband has had a business, and I have been doing his books up to a point, and then the accountants do the rest of it. But that was my job,
right?
And dealing with the kids when they're sports and they're teenagers, and we're always all over the place. And
absolute.
So that was life for a while, and then my son was going to graduate in 2019, and I was about to turn 50, and I'm like, I need to do something else. So I started doing the cruise thing. because we were cruise fans from ages ago, but we
Right.
just didn't really do that many when the kids were little for obvious reasons. And then we started back into it, did a couple in 2018 and one in 2019. And rather than just looking around at everyone else's YouTube channel, I thought, well, I'll just dig out my phone, because I had a decent phone at the time. And I was filming me walking the dog and, different stuff. And I just sort of fiddled around with this, that, and the other thing, and bit of quilting, bit of crafting. And I filmed a little bit when we were on the cruise in 2019, and I put that up. But it was only limits on my phone. And I thought, well, we'll get more into it. And that was the time when my husband bought me the little camera, but then everything went. So that was the end of that for a while.
Oh, it makes sense.
So that's sort of how my channel went from just being about some travel and cruisy stuff and a little bit of crafty things to all of crafty things mostly.
But it makes good sense. I'm not being mean. Now, I think I heard you right in the beginning. You're also a travel agent.
Yes.
Is that for like just cruises, or are you bringing that into
everything,
any kind of travel?
Yeah, everything. Well, see, part of it is, unless you're cruising like locally, right, where you don't have to fly somewhere, you gotta fly. The rule of thumb always, if you can manage it, is to go to your embarkation city the day before, just in case there's something funny with your flight. You don't want to miss your ship, so therefore there's a hotel room overnight. Maybe you need a transfer from the airport, etc., etc., etc. There's lots of stuff that goes with it. So if I was just going to book the cruise and I'm like, sorry, I can't help you with the rest of it, what good's that going to do?
Right.
It's all, everything goes together.
Right. Now, do you do like all the, like when you're, I don't know what your cruise line calls it, but anytime that I've ever cruised, we book excursions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you do the excursions as well? Like
I can, yes. Part of the group I work with, they have an offshoot for excursions, and there is the same guarantee return to ship. Some people like to book with it because rather than booking with the cruise line and you pay later and it all kind of lumped together, this booking system will let people pay now, and they pay in Canadian dollars.
Oh, okay.
So you already know what you're going to get. You don't have to worry about the exchange later on, and
okay.
So some people like that, and some people just choose to book with the cruise line. Like whatever. I'm not a pressure person. I just, hey, you want my help? Great. If you're cool on your own, great. Like whatever. I just do this for fun.
Absolutely, and that makes sense. Okay, that one worked. Someone said, Joe, okay, that one worked. Yo, Patty G is in the house.
Hi, Patty.
Let me see. Amy's in the house. Can you drop Ian's link, sweetheart?
I should just do a hi to everybody because I can't see you. So general hi all around.
Yeah. Something's going on with our link drops and I can't do anything from my side. So he's over there literally hand dropping everybody's links tonight, which it's okay. Let me see. What kind of strategies and mindset are required that you feel are required as a content creator that enables you to be able to make your content and push it out?
I don't know for sure, other than just making content. I don't really have a strategy. Again, I do this YouTube thing for fun. I'm not trying to do this as a business or whatever. I just film something and I'm like, oh, hey, I wonder if anybody would like this. So I film it and I publish it and see what happens.
I like what you're doing, how do you stay motivated? Like, is it just the littlest things? If it interests you, you're going to share it.
Yeah, pretty much. Something interesting comes along, or like if I'm working on something, then sometimes I've done more of a process video, like that one I made for my friend's son, the yellow one. This one, because it's not my pattern, like Megan on Tiny Orchard Quilts has a whole playlist of like 5 videos on how to do this thing. And
really?
She explains it beautifully. So all my videos are just kind of highlights as I go on this, rather than anything in depth.
Yeah, Megan does a fabulous job.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So I don't need to repeat what she said because she's better at it than me anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like why reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Hello, Memoirs. Welcome to the chats. Hello, Donna and everyone listening, but can't chat while working. I totally get it. Sassy Stuff's in the house, Joe, if you want to drop her link. Let me see. Dahlia's telling her hello. What is your method of incorporating your do you do like any music with your videos or anything like that?
Sometimes I have, yeah. The editing program I use is from Corel, and I haven't totally figured it out yet, but I play with it a little bit here and there, and I've tweaked and tinkered, and I've put a couple of music things up. I want to try to actually get myself a proper intro, because I don't have one, so that's sort of a goal in mind, you know, like 5 to 8 seconds or something, just a little. But yeah, that'll be down the road as I film more and stuff.
Yeah, I think we're all learning.
Yeah.
Learning to go. Let me see. To create Okay, to create good content, what are 3 of the major components that you feel you need to do?
Whoa, 3. My videos are all relatively the same. I try to edit just for clarity, which is why you get me messing up. Honey,
you're real.
Because I don't. All of us make mistakes.
Absolutely.
So you see me screw up all the time, and I just film it, and this is it. And I failed miserably. And hey, guys, I tried this. Don't do it this way because it was dumb.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah. So basically, that's what I do. I just do as you see me, and just tidy it up a little bit.
Right.
So not too long, or, you know.
Right. Now, what kind of batting and things do you like for your quilts? Do you have a certain batting that you like?
I tend to use Hobbs 80/20, mainly because if I get anything quilted by my neighbor across the street, that's what she uses. And she always gives me lots of extra. So I have great big pieces I can hack off and then franken batting together. And then I can use it for runners or.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever, right? Yeah.
You can't beat that. Let me see. I'm just trying to skim to make sure that I'm hitting everything. Have you ever quilted a quilt top for anyone else? And do you ever charge for your services?
No, I do not charge. I've only quilted my own quilts and that one I did for Big Stitch for my aunt.
That's cool. She
lives in Alberta, and when one of our trips we went back for kids going to college, we got together with them for dinner, and I gave her her quilt.
Oh, what size quilts do you like to make?
I generally stick to sort of like throw approximately, not anything too huge, because it's hard to put the sucker together when it's really big.
There you go.
And this one's gonna wind up being something like 72 by 72, and that's probably about as big as I want to go.
Right. And that makes good sense. Let me see. And you said you quilt on your domestic.
Yep.
And then your long arm is basically across the street.
Yep.
Do you ever use quilt books or magazines? And if so, which ones?
I have a couple of magazines. Actually, I do have a magazine pattern I picked out coming up. I have a stack of them. So I go through them every now and again and go, oh, I should like to do that. And I, fold over the page. I've got a few books. I need to get back into that more rather than using up everyone's free pattern, but there's usually the free patterns are the ones that appeals to me. So it's sort of some of each.
I'm with you. I like those free ones. I can't help it. Once in a while, I'll buy one, but I like the free ones. Have you ever used a commercial kit?
No, I've never bought a kit, mainly because I mess up too much and I'd have to buy more fabric.
Would you rather create your own pattern and color combinations or go with the pattern as you see it on the outside of the package?
I guess it depends on the pattern. Like this is a far stretch from navy, aqua, and yellow.
Right.
But my mind could see it from taking Megan's pattern and going, okay, well, the middle in green would be great to make it pop because that's the green. Like,
and I'm telling you, it does.
Right? Like, so sometimes my brain follows easily, and sometimes it doesn't. And I have to just sort of go, well, okay, I should do this. 'Cause I can't
Right.
extrapolate. Sometimes I can extrapolate better and sometimes I can't.
Right. Now, have you ever subscribed to any subscription boxes?
No. I don't know. I'm sure some of the fellow Canadians have, but we tend to have shipping issues and the exchange could be really horrible in any given moment. And
that makes sense. I'm not being mean,
yeah.
because I'm not sure if mom and pop does, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I follow them a lot and I just adore them. What materials do you like? Other like 100% cotton all the time with your quilting?
Yes, and sometimes I use batik, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I use both together.
I think it's cute with the black, the batiks and that black. It's just like.
My nephew's quilt. That's the long jelly roll race. That was a Donna Jordan one, and he wanted black and white, which I used a jelly roll for. I forget what the name of it was. This was a few years back. And then I took, I think it was the watercolors, an emeraldy green of a dark plummy sort of purple and like a marine blue. And those were the 3 accents. And those were batik, right? So it was mostly a jelly roll with batik accent. And then I used the blue batik on the backing and I did scrappy batik as the binding.
Oh, cool. How long would you say, if you were actually working all the time or whatever, does it take you to do one of your wall hanging quilts or your lap throws?
Oh, if I just go at it real hard, probably less than a week, I would think. But
that's not bad
I've never actually had time to just, go at it. Like there's usually something interrupting and I do have to work and kids and dogs and all that.
Right. Now, do you have a specialty tool that you'd prefer? Like a Fiskars rotary cutter, or do you like the Martelli? Do you have a special brand of quilting tools that you prefer?
I use Olfa cutters. I like the big 60. I don't see the point in fussing with a silly little wheel that's this big. I want the big one, just get her done, right?
Absolutely, a one and done.
Don't waste any time. Usually I tend to use, what are those needles? Ultratex? No.
I think maybe, yeah.
I can't remember. Whatever. And I change up the size. I generally piece with 70s. I quilt with 80s and I paper piece with 90s.
Absolutely. Now, do you do any scrappy quilts?
Yes, I have, and I want to do more. I was doing a string heart with, I think there were 7 inches, and it's hanging. I haven't done it. The top is hanging in my closet and I have to find a backing and I have to do it, and that will go off to charity somewhere, but I haven't done it. That was
going to be one of the questions. Do you do like charity quilts over in Canada?
Yeah, well, a bunch of the ladies I know, we used to be able to get together at the local library pre-pandemic, and they're all in the guilds. And I don't have time for that, but they said, oh, just put a label on it and you can put it in. It doesn't matter if you're not in the guild. So.
Right. And a lot of guilds will take anything because they pass them along.
Yeah, to whatever local in town, right?
Yep. Do you submit any of your quilts in shows in your area? And have you ever considered submitting your work into a quilt con?
I put that Canada jelly roll into the exhibition every summer, other than the pandemic. 2nd week of August is our local exhibition. There's this area outside of town that has these great big red barns, and people bring their animals, cows, etc.
Right.
So there's judging on that. All the local 4-H kids do all their whatever rabbits and all that.
Oh, wow.
There's a rodeo, and then there's the whole building where you bring in your like quilts, or I put in jam before, because my husband and I have occasionally made jam if the strawberries are really good or whatever, or pickles, that kind of, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That
is so cool. Where did you come up with your channel name? I think you said it in the beginning, but I'm not sure how many of them may have heard it.
Well, for the longest time, my channel name was just my name. which is okay, but it doesn't really tell you anything. So that's why I decided to do the cruises, crafts, and quilts. Just I think it sounds too eclectic in some people's minds, maybe, but that's kind of what my channel is about. So why not call it that?
Exactly. Absolutely. And I agree. Um, like, do you have a sewing space, crafting room, or is it all in one, like an
Right
old
here.
bedroom, or is it all just like the kids moved out and you got your own space?
No, my kids haven't moved out yet, but this used to be my daughter's room and she moved downstairs. So this is her old room. So this is my quilting / crafting room. Occasionally in the past, when I've done something that could be messier, like decoupage or whatever, I have filmed it at the kitchen table and I put down like an older sheet so nothing gets mucky.
Right.
But other than that, it's in here pretty much.
Yeah. I started on a dining room table, so I understand that. Austin wants to ask, what is your favorite local restaurant to eat at over there? And he always likes the random question. So
Oh,
Beth of Goody Goods, that's her husband.
that's your husband. Yeah.
Dish us up some food from over there. Well,
One
yeah.
of the places we really like to go and haven't in a long time, and we even have a gift card. I don't know why we haven't gone. It's called Greek Islands, and it's owned by a local family. And oh my, food is amazing, amazing, and you get a ton of it. My daughter's friend, we actually had her puppy over for a while on Friday night because they were going out for date night. And her friend comes back and says, have you ever gone to Greek Islands? That place is amazing, because they hadn't gone before. And she says, Peter's laying out in the back seat with his pants undone because he ate too much.
Oh, now that's too funny.
So yeah, we need to go back because they could do up all these platters. You can get like platter for two that's got roast lamb and the spinach pies and meatballs and rice and potatoes, and it's just
that sounds delightful.
So good.
Oh my goodness. What is your best and worst part of quilting?
The best part is figuring it all out, I think, because I like to tinker and fiddle. I find the hardest part is at the end when it's all done. I'm like, oh crap, I got to put the binding on now. And it's just, that's the motivational part that I like. All right, just do it. Because I don't, not that I hate doing binding, it's just the end of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, do you like regular binding or like the flanged binding? Which do you prefer?
I just do regular. And usually, see, this is just me being lazy because most of the time I just do it on my machine. So I don't know why I'm complaining about it, because it's not that hard.
It's just whip it in.
Yeah.
Let me see. What is your absolute favorite part of quilting?
The whole journey, I guess you call it. There's always an opportunity for me to figure something new out, usually, because I'm not that an experienced quilter. So sometimes I come up upon something and it's like, oh, okay, we do it this way, right? And then it's the process of it I think I like the best.
Right.
I like the planning part of it, but the actual doing it, figuring it out, going, oh shoot, that was dumb, and then fixing it. And yeah,
I look at it like a puzzle. I know it sounds weird to say that, but we've got our fabric, we cut it out. It's kind of like cutting up a puzzle and then putting it all back together.
Yeah, rather. And it's the whole process of that's what I like about it.
Absolutely. And I love it from beginning to end. I do. And I hate it when it's done. I mean, it looks pretty and I'm glad, but I'm like, if it was a fun quilt, I'm like, tag, that went too quick or whatever, you know? Sorry about the mouthy kids in the background. They're full of vinegar tonight. Do you have a special way that you like to thread your needles that makes it really easy?
I use the threader on my machine because it's one of those pull down, I don't have to go like,
automatic
with my
threader.
Bad eyesight, I don't have to go like this. I use the threader. Thank goodness.
Absolutely. Now, do you have Chiquita? She's got a good question. What is your favorite technique to use? And do you have a special block that you like?
I don't think I really have a special block. I've done so many and nothing really jumps out. I'm not one of those people that usually presses seams open. Like that seems to be a thing. But then again, with that sucker in the middle, I press those open. But usually I press to the side because then they nest better. So I guess that's my technique.
Right.
I tend to use my stiletto a lot just for guiding and holding seams down. I love that thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
It's
there's
just right
certain
beside me,
tools
and I'm
that you
like,
find you
Yeah.
really navigate to.
it's wonderful. I would not be without it.
Let me see. Have you ever had a quilting disaster?
Yes.
Come on, dish. Spill the
Oh,
tea. I thought I was the only one.
no. I made a quilt for my nephew and his wife. They live on Vancouver Island, and it was around the time they got married in 2018. And I actually took a class at the local quilt place. You know, the Missouri Star, the binding tool star. I could not get my corners not to be cut off. And I tried everything from Sunday to get this damn thing to go. And I took it to my buddies at the library and we went over it and nobody could, there was no like foolproof way. So I just like, okay. So I wound up making extra blocks, actually sewed all the best 16 blocks and hope for the best. My
Mhm.
nephew's not even going to know, but I was be like, this thing is driving me bananas. And actually it hung in the closet for like a year because I didn't want to look at it. I hated it that much. I hated it. So then I finally decided, well, I got to get this dang thing finished. So my sister-in-law, mother of this nephew, lives in the interior of BC in Milkanagan, and in her town is a quilting shop. So when she came down to visit for something, I had contacted the quilt shop and I said, here you go, Sue. Here's the top. Here's the back. Here's all the binding I did. Take it to Cherry Tree, get them to quilt it. I will pay the bill. And she knows how to sew. So she said she'd put on the binding, no problem. So once that was out of my hands, I never even saw it finished. I did not want to see it. I did not care. She put the binding on it and gave it to her son.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. I would have been happy to just
I
get rid
just wanted it out of my house. I hated that quilt so much.
Karen Brown had a lady on that to come up with the precision piecing glue, etc. Let me see. Have you ever used seam glue? I heard a lot about that stuff lately.
I have not. I sometimes pin, and usually I go with the pretty good school of thought. Like as long as something's not wildly off, 1/8 of an inch is close enough. Like I'm picky,
Right.
but I'm not that picky.
Absolute.
I would hope.
You sound like me. I'm making sure that I'm not
Nest your seams, hold it down. That's where the stiletto comes in. Hold it down so it doesn't go bumpity bump. Keep it steady. It does work most of the time.
Yeah, I keep my nails long, so they're my stiletto, but I've got one, and if it's too close, I'm just gliding it in with that.
You just sort of ease it along and hold it down so it doesn't shift and all that. Yeah.
How are your quilts different from the ones in a department store?
There's more mistakes.
That was submitted. Mine are keepers. They're gonna last. How do you take care of your quilts? Like, do you launder them, or are they just more like show quilts? They actually usable quilts?
Well, we use them. So what I try, I mean, I've washed them in the washing machine. I put them on cold. I do it on gentle with, I don't put jeans in with it or something. You just light, just kind of, and if possible, I try to do it in the summer because then I take an old sheet out on our Sendek and I can lay them and let them dry, or failing that, over the railing.
Right.
And they can just air dry.
Absolute. Let me see. Now you said you do look at quilt magazines. Is there certain ones that you get there? I need to open the door for this pup. I'll be right back.
Okay. I've got Quilt Maker, Fons and Porter, Better Homes and Gardens, and another one I can't remember. Quilt Connection or something like that.
Oh, okay. Let me see. If you had to estimate the price it takes for you to build a quilt.
Oh, good grief. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know what it takes me based on just if I did it like $12 a yard, you know,
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
know.
go with my yardage and throw a number out. That doesn't include the batting, you know what I mean? But that
Yeah,
just
my
goes
my
a
neighbor
baseline.
charges, like by the time I get my neighbor to do it, it's usually like around the $150 mark because
Mhm.
she just does edge to edge. It's not fancy. And I take it over there and she goes, well, how about this pattern and this color thread? And I go, okay.
Yeah, you
Like I'm
what's
not the
her
expert on that,
general
right?
turnaround for your quilts?
She can usually do it in a week, but it sort of
Oh,
depends on what she's got going.
right.
And because I'm handy, sometimes I'll say, hey, Beatrice, I have this ready. And she'll be like, well, just get it ready to go. Because then if someone doesn't show up
I
or
could throw
whatever,
it
then
on.
she just calls me and say, hey, bring it over because I got time. And then she'll
Now,
squeeze me in,
is
right?
hers all the electronic or is it?
Yeah. She's got one of the APQS ones.
I have not a clue. I'd rather say I don't
I don't
know.
know the names of them.
Have you heard of I'm trying to read Beth's comment. Have you heard of Make Modern? That's another great magazine to add to your collection.
No, I've never seen that one.
That might be one to jot down.
Is that only in the US though? Because
I
we
don't
don't get
know.
everything you guys do.
Yeah, Beth, I'm not sure. You have to let us know that one, love. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. What type of sewing machine did you say you have?
I have an Elna.
Now, is that the first machine that you've gotten?
Oh no, I had an old Singer from way back,
Oh,
but it was
okay.
kind of an old piece of junk, and it used to be my mom's, and it just gave up the ghost.
Yeah, she's gonna check and get the link real quick, and then she'll drop that link in for us. Have you ever won any prizes or anything when you've turned your quilts in?
I won second place for that Canada one at the
Ooh,
exhibition. I have a ribbon. It's stuck to my closet door.
oh, that's so cool.
I was very proud of myself. And unbeknownst to me, my long armor was the judge,
Oh, how cool
which
is
I didn't
that?
find out about till later on.
Oh, that's neat. She probably had no clue at the time. Um, have you ever been unhappy with the way a quilt's turned out?
Other than that star one, no, pretty good.
Yeah,
There's always stuff I wish I could have tweaked better, but usually by the time it's all done, I'm happy with it.
right. But you've learned a lot along the way.
Yes.
Looks like you can download it. It's digitally to read. It's based in Australia.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's dropped the link. So they have a website. So it's
Okay. We'll look it up.
let me see. Do you ever like just draw out a quilt pattern and make it just from your mental vision, like what you think?
Other than that, that yellow and blue and orange one, I
Mhm.
haven't done it really so far, but I looked through a bunch of patterns in the magazines and the free ones, and nothing really kind of grabbed me to do with 3 colors that I wanted.
Right.
So that's how I just sort of fiddled with it and came up on my own.
That makes sense. It really does. Give you one more because I don't want to detain you. Have you ever had any bad experiences as a content creator?
Not really, no. There was this one guy, I forget even what video it was, and he was complaining about my video quality that I had filmed with my phone. And I'm like, whatever, get your own damn channel. So I just had to laugh and then blocked him.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of those.
Yeah, that was about
you
it.
know, that people just say, we're not paid actors and actresses.
Yeah.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, usually the people that comment are like my fellow quilters and my craft buddies, and a few of the cruise people that I follow. Like we all comment on everything all the time. So,
Right.
and everyone's supportive.
Absolute. Pre-cut versus yardage. If pre-cut, what is your favorite?
Jelly rolls, probably, just because they're easy. And I have used them successfully. So again, I like them.
Yeah, I'm
This
not
one's all
sure.
yardage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you follow Ian, the off-kilter crafter,
I do,
but
yeah.
he's doing a jelly roll. It started last week and it's called Typed Up or something. You have to look at that from last week, but tune in tonight when we get done. I promised him I'm going to slip over there.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I saw that. Yeah. I haven't done any collabs or anything like that or joined in anything lately because of us going away and then with my knee coming up, I don't know what time I'm gonna have. So
Right.
there's a bunch I'm following just to see how everybody does.
Oh, absolute. And it's just so neat to see what other content creators are coming up with.
Absolutely.
Absolute. So you said your surgery's when? Next week?
21st.
The 21st. So you'll definitely shoot me a message because everybody will be asking me how you're doing if they don't see you right back online.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So we'll be
Yeah,
posting updates on her recovery and maybe we could circle back and we'll do a joint collab sometime if you'd
yeah,
like.
that'd be fun.
We'll get you healed
Oh,
up and then we'll pick something.
I scheduled a live for the 25th.
Oh, wow.
I just thought I thought I would do it and put it out there. And then if I'm sitting on my arse with ice on my knee, I can put my laptop on my lap and chat.
Absolutely. Just watch if you're medicated. But
Well, it depends on how medicated, I suppose.
absolute. You know, I've had surgeries before to where you take that pill to ease the pain and then you get loose lips.
Mm.
Yeah.
I try to suck it up and not do too much pain meds.
Yeah, I do a lot of Tylenol.
Yeah, that's about it. Put
Yeah.
ice on it.
Well, everyone, I think I've hit everybody in the chat. If I haven't had the opportunity to tell you all hello tonight, I greatly appreciate you hopping on with us. I promised Kelley that I'd only keep her till about 8 o'clock. Ian is going live. So if you guys would like to hop off of here with me and slip over, he's going to finish up this typed up quilt that he's working on. It. I'm telling you, it's fabulous. You're going to not want to miss it. Kelley, you're in our thoughts and our prayers in the days ahead as you're heading into this procedure. We
Thanks,
wish you
everybody.
the best.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you for making
I'm not
time for
anticipating
us.
it being bad, but I appreciate your thoughts anyway.
Absolutely. You never know, everything's, they're going in, clean it out, and then you're going to be good as new. Power positivity. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a second to say your goodbyes. Thank you for joining us tonight. God bless you. Take care, and I'll
Thanks,
see you back
everybody.
in the next live. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.